nice way to do it, guys. This is Draped in Gold, the unofficial NXTUK NXT Aftershow, which is your boy Flobo Boyce. Actually, having one of the best post-Thanksgiving weeks in a while because every day feels like the same. And we're going to get to all the cool stuff, what's happening in the world of professional wrestling. Before I do, just want to say this show and all the other shows brought to you by GamingWare, GamingWare.com, GMRware.com. Make sure you suit up and play on. I am once again being joined by the ambassador official of Broster's Coffee himself. Give it up for real, Jack Farmer.
I am so glad to be here, and I got to apologize. I know we're running a little bit behind schedule. It was because I waited too long to start percolating the perfect cup of Broster's Coffee, which you can get at www.thebrosters.com using promo code BROCODE1.
Of course, but we're not alone. We're being joined by the man who gets a Sandy with Andy, the man from the Put Me Over podcast. Once again, welcome back to the show, Mr. Andy Gomez. What's going on, sir?
Hey, everyone. Welcome. Yeah. Welcome. Glad to be here. I am late because I was making a Sandy for Andy. So, you
know what? This is why we're the best faction in recap entertainment. You guys are covering for me. I appreciate that.
Got it. Yeah.
We're full in the holiday swing, but the most important day is today is Wolfgang's birthday. Happy birthday, Wolfie. Hope you're doing well with them Gallus boys on top. Let's start with that match there. Jack Farmer, Mr. Andy Gomez. Gallus and Imperium were at each other's throats the past couple weeks, and now I guess the brand new hooligans of Gallus are celebrating because Joe Coffey took out the Hatchet Man and Alexander Wolf. What do you think about the match, Jack Farmer? What do you think about Imperium's prospects now that Andrew Wolf has lost not one straight, but two straight on the brand?
I think that right now, and we'll talk about it probably in a little bit, but one of the things that is really hurting Imperium right now is they're so divided. They're spread out all over the place, whether it be Walter trying to recover from a banger of a match with Dragunov or the other two being stuck stateside, and now Alexander Wolf all by himself. He did take an L today, but I think in this loss, he actually showed us that Coffey may have a weakness. You can't out-tough Joe Coffey, but if you're tough and technical, you do stand a chance against the Iron King.
Oh, man, I love the fact you're using nicknames. Andy, thoughts about this? You got Gallus. They're kind of more bankable stars. I mean, they could be a face of the brand. They're this hard-nosed faction. But Imperium was the standard bearer for a long time. But is it really an issue of divide and conquer?
I mean, I hope that they can turn it around. I'm going to be honest with you. I missed a little bit of NXT UK today. Was able to be there for the main event, but you got guys like Joe Coffey that can easily establish themselves and then take an L and then reestablish and keep going.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're able to recover as handily as they can. And I don't know, man. I'm starting to like Gallus now. But I really feel like they're celebrating after the matches are so against their character. Jack, help me out here. Like, should I wait and see this new Gallus, or is it kind of ruining a good thing?
You know what I don't get about you, Flobo, is you seem to me like you are tailor-made to be a huge fan of Imperium because you hate people having a good time. You hate people being interesting. You just want to see them come out and have good wrestling matches. That's exactly what Imperium is.
I'm not on trial here.
How can you not like the fact that they're having a good time and celebrating? If I was able to survive a match with Alexander Wolf, you better believe I'd be out there celebrating and having a good time. But back to Alexander Wolf, I got to say, I don't think his job here tonight was to win in the first place. As they always say, he is the Hatchet Man. I think he was just there to see what Joe Coffey was made out of. And you could even see with how he was taking risks, like taking that shot at Coffey right around the ref's head, not even caring about whether or not he might get disqualified. He just wanted to rough him up a little bit for when the big, bad Walter comes back to finish him off. That's what I think's happening. I think in that sense, I do agree that Gallus might be celebrating just a little bit too early.
Hot take for you, Andy. Why does Jack support such losers and bad people? Let me know why he supports the Hills.
Some people got to support the jabrones of I mean, Imperium. I mean, this whole pandemic is kind of messed up. I feel like Imperium as a faction as a whole. Yeah. With Walter not being available as much as he was before, built up. But like you said, Jack, once Walter comes back, we're gonna level the playing field, and you're gonna make Gallus look stupid for celebrating as hard as they did because Big Bad Wolf is back.
Yeah, let's talk about the fact that Walter is United Kingdom champion because he seems to be pretty firm in his situation here at NXT. But who isn't secure, and I want your opinion on this one first, Andy, is the cruiserweight champion situation, right? Jordan Devlin was the champion. He got stuck in England or in Europe because of the pandemic. They had a tournament where Santos Escobar is now cruiserweight champion. In your opinion, do you have an official cruiserweight? Because Jack and I are split on this. I am Team Devlin, and this guy is all about the Legado de Fantasma. But in your mind, is there one cruiserweight champion, or are there two halves of the same title?
There's a lot of contenders, but yeah, like you said, there's two halves of the same title. I think once Devlin can come back, I'm a big Devlin fan myself as well.
Tell him.
But you got to wait for guys like Jake Atlas that are on the rise, and to kind of unmuddy the waters as it is right now. And I think that could happen soon. But Devlin for the win. Always.
Yeah,
I don't like how you're trying to pit us against each other, Flobo. I agree. I think Jordan Devlin is the true cruiserweight champion. He never lost it. No one ever took it from him. And he's amazing in the ring, amazing on the mic. I can't wait to see this open challenge. And I can't wait to see him line up and knock down all the contenders.
I'm on to you. Yeah, he'll have an open challenge starting next week. I just want your quick thoughts about that. But on the other side of things, our women's division seems to be a bit of a ramping up period because we're trying to find a real next true contender for Kaylee Ray's championship. And Piper never had her shot. Like Jack Farmer said, she should be at the back of the line. And it seems that way with the feud against against Jenny. But I'm looking at Ava Valkyrie. Here's somebody who's never lost a match on the main roster, taking out a very game Leah James, someone actually thought could be a star on the brand. Jack, let me ask you this. Is Ava Valkyrie the next in line to challenge for the NXT UK Women's Championship?
She certainly looks like it, doesn't she? I mean, she has one of the best entrances in the game right now as far as the women wrestlers go and as far as her outfits and everything goes. She's the NXT UK's Goldberg. She's beating everybody. And, of course, she looked great today. I thought that this match felt like when you're playing like WWE 2K and one person has their stats way higher than the other person.
Oh, yeah, go on.
I don't think I think Aaliyah James was actually pretty good in this match. I thought she did an amazing job. I think she also has the looks and she also has the presence. I think she just ran into an undefeated juggernaut today. And I think she'll be great once things get going. But to your point, to your original point here, Valkyrie, she needs to be the next to challenge for the title. She needs to be the next one up. She's beaten everybody. I don't know how you make a stronger resume than being undefeated. So, yes, she should have the next shot. It's unfortunate that first loss will come at the hands of Kaylee Ray, but that's for down the line.
And are you a fan of Kaylee Ray, Andy, as NXT Women's Champion, or are you kind of like over it like I am?
I mean, I'm kind of over it. The underdog, you know, it can only go so far. You got to be a proven commodity, and like you said, when Valkyrie finally gets her shot, she's gonna be the unstoppable beast. Someone's gonna have to come and topple. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Sorry, Jack.
I was going to say that the unstoppable beast is Kaylee Ray. No one can take her off the top of the mountain. She owns this division. No one's taking it from her. And that's probably why Valkyrie hasn't been lining up to take a shot just yet. She'd rather stay undefeated than take an L to the champ.
You're actually right in some aspects. I do like Aaliyah James. If I was drafting for my imaginary roster, I'd definitely have James on there. Now, there's a little bit more of a character development, but she is pretty awesome, what she can do. Great pickup for the brand, but I don't know, man. Like, I get it with the pandemic numbers are inflating her title reign. That's right. I said it because last night on NXT Classic, they said Walter has been NXT UK champion for 608 days. But I gotta say, man, it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to touch Kaylee Ray for a while. So I may just have to get used to it, you know?
I mean, people call it an excuse, Flobo. You're making excuses right now.
I didn't make an excuse.
Other people,
you think this is my idea?
They hold the title forever. People are like, oh, there wasn't enough competition or this or that or the other. The fact is a winner is a winner is a winner. No one's taking that title from her. She's going to be the champ longer than anybody. Bruno Sammartino, get out of the way. Kaylee Ray is coming for the longest reign.
Why do you do this to me? Why Bruno Sammartino? Kaylee... Whatever.
Someone had to say it.
Our opening contest today had Rampage Brown, which is somebody who is another high price signing or high stake signing, excuse me, for NXT UK when the match gets Saxon Huxley. Now, I am not saying the right person or wrong person won that match. In this case, it was Rampage Brown, but I felt like Saxon Huxley had that Rampage Brown spectacle like 6 weeks before Rampage, and after this match, after losing this match, after getting clowned by Leon Muir in the back, I feel like he's kind of like done. Is that weird for me to think it that way?
Who are you asking?
You, Jack.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
You.
No, I mean, I love Huxley. He's one of my favorites on UK. He's like a wild hobo fighting for his knapsack of scraps aboard the murder train. This guy is such a fun person to see out there, just beating people down and attacking people. It was a shame he didn't get the win today, but that happens sometimes. I'm not giving up on him. He's not relying on luck, as we saw later in the night. I think he's going to go figure things out and come back stronger than ever. If I knew him, though, if I was backstage, I wouldn't say good luck, better luck next time. I'd say, go talk to Eddie Dennis. He seems to be able to help out people like yourself.
Oh, we'll get to that. Before I do, though, Andy, let me ask you this. You got someone like Saxon Huxley when he came and he re-debuted in NXT UK. They compared him to Bruiser Brody. And Jack and I talked about this before. Like, it's funny how we'll have new talents. We always go back to archetypes. He's like a Ric Flair. He's like a Bret Hart. He's like a Bruiser Brody. Is it still valid in today's like wrestling landscape, or is that just like odd concepts to younger fans and newer fans of the product?
Well, when you have someone like a Bruiser Brody or a Ric Flair, they're already ingrained in like legacy and championship and a winning mentality. So I think when you're going to paint a picture of someone that someone's not familiar with, that you can put them up against someone that's familiar with, and sometimes it might not work out the way you'd like it to. But I think it's fine to just paint that picture and let people know what this person's all about.
Okay, because I don't know. I mean, I felt like Bruiser Brody is somebody I learned later on in my career. There was Ahmed Johnson that I understood. But Bruiser Brody, I don't.
I mean, I'm right there with you too. But then you learn the legend of Bruiser Brody, and it catches up.
Fair enough. I don't know. And Rampage Brown. I mean, if you had to compare him to somebody, do you have any comparisons at all? This is an open question. If you didn't, you don't. But like, there's something about him that seems familiar. I'm not really sure what that is.
I think. Go ahead. No, you take it away.
I was just gonna say I'm not too familiar with him, so I would like to pass it off to Jack.
Okay.
Oh well, perfect. I mean, to me, he's just a tough, hard hitting, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Bulldozers of beatdowns. I think he's just got that classic throwback style of guy that's just gonna maul you when he gets inside the ring. I'm really excited about this guy. I want to see him get into the ring with more guys like this Huxley, but more guys. I want to see him build up to the bigger bison, the guys like a Joe Coffey. I want to see him get in the ring with someone who's going to punch him right in the mouth and just see how much of a beating he can take and how much of a beating he can dish out. I'm excited to see just how far he's going to go.
You know what I want to see? I want to see him take on your boys Pretty Deadly in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Pretty Deadly. Man,
your
looking
boys.
like long-haired Harry Styles tonight. Love those two.
The fact they did the whole thing in tandem, or the second half of that promo in tandem, was just like, oh my gosh. Like, really? You're doing the... Yeah. It's like, who's your favorite host? It's Jack Farmer. Who's yours? Flobo Boyce. Oh my gosh. We love each other. And real last thing too, and Andy, when it comes to like wrestling shows, there's a lot more promos now where you have like the guest that sits down and has like a moment of bliss and the KO show. We're getting our own NXT UK next week, the Supernova Sessions with Noam Dar. Now, I'm not sure if you're like, remember Noam Dar from back in his like wedding planner days where he stole Alicia Fox and all that, but
Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox.
Forget Noam Dar. Supernova.
It feels like a whole different generation though. It feels like so long ago. Question though, you watch a couple episodes of NXT UK. Does the brand need a talk show? And is Noam Dar the guy?
I mean, maybe. these segments can sometimes help build a storyline that maybe can't be told in the ring. They can get it kickstarted at a segment like this. Noam Dar, he's entertaining as hell. I'm a big fan of. There it is. I saw the comment right now, but Noam Dar, he's a star, and if this gives him something to do, by all means, go for it.
Okay, all right. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, so much to you guys, and something I talked about on previous episodes of this show, I didn't have much stock in him until the Heritage Cup that came around recently, and he blew me away with just how talented he is. In general, I'm not a huge fan of the talk show segments.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like they should be fewer and more far between than they are.
Yeah.
But I think he's proven to be someone who can make things work. So if they're going to give him a shot, I'm going to give him the time because he's earned it, in my opinion.
I hate talk show segments because they're taking my job away from me.
That's true, too.
I'm open to give it a shot. I feel like NXT doesn't quite need it because it's only an hour and a lot of things can be done in promos, and they have not one but 1.5 general managers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really need one, but if you're going to give it to somebody, might as well give it to somebody who can talk, right?
Don't give him 15 minutes. Give him 8, maybe.
Oh my gosh, 15 minutes. And before I get to my next match, I just oh man, you like doing promos and somebody like and subscribe.
Do we know what his do we know who his first guest is going to be?
Oh, they did mention that. And I'm totally I have to go double check. But
You know who I wish it was?
What?
Eddie Dennis. I think he's great. I'd love to hear what that guy's thinking. Smartest guy in all of NXT UK.
I'm starting to believe that. Cause check out this main event here. The Primate and Wild Boar collectively, as called the Hunt, take on Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews in a classic. Because I didn't quite. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure if you didn't know this about Andy, I was kind of jaded of tag team wrestling for a long time. I felt that there was a formula. It seemed pretty formulaic of that formula. Good team gets beat up, hot tag, clear house. Either they win or they don't. But with the advent of AEW on our sister show, Lead the Week, we'll talk about this. And now NXT UK, it's a whole different expression. And to be honest with you, the tandem moves the Hunt pulled off tonight made me go, oh, snap. Thoughts about the match, Andy Gomez, thoughts about the tag team, and is Eddie Dennis the smartest guy on the roster?
When I saw the Hunt, I just thought Bebop and Rocksteady. I thought Road Warriors with their manager gave me Paul Ellering vibes. But like you said, they worked together so well, and I wanted to give them crap for them being named after animals like Primate and Wild Boar. But I can't give crap to Retribution if they're gonna go with Slapstick and T-Bar, and I can't give these guys crap for being Wild Boar and Primate.
Right. Slapjack has entered the chat. Excuse me.
Right.
It's not slapstick. No, I get it. I totally get it. It was kind of a weird thing, but I started wearing masks. What made it cooler? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the package I'm fine with. I love tag teams that look the same. They're not just thrown together. They're like a package unit. So their gear looked great. Their in-ring blew me away because I don't know what I was expecting once I first saw them. And then Andrews and Webster always tear it up. So this was a really good main event.
I just want to give a shout out to Dylan Matthews in the chat. He goes, let Andy say shit. He can. I'll just tag it as explicit after the fact. You can say whatever you want, man. I'm not pressing anybody here.
That's more work for you, man.
But Jack, man, your boy Eddie Dennis is pulling the strings on this one. They drew out 2 guys, beat them individually backstage, allegedly. I'm not going to say he did that. But in the match, their boys came out.
Whoa, flagrant. You can't just you can't call yourself a journalist, Flobo, and throw out these completely baseless accusations.
I said allegedly.
There's no proof. There's no evidence. It's fake news, and I'm very disappointed in you, Flobo, for saying that.
I said allegedly. Rumors are swirling.
Look at that's the problem. See, even in these video packages before this show started, they're building things up and they keep talking about how the Hunt betrayed Morgan and Andrews, and it's the opposite. They exploited the Hunt. Right now, the bullies got their comeuppance, and I was so excited to see that happen tonight. And watching these two, man, I love the part where they talk about the Primate was born on the battlefield and built to take orders. But frankly, I'm saying that guy has a body that says goals. Come on. He looks amazing. These guys are so great. They've got the muscle. They've got the aggression with Eddie Dennis. They have the brains. And all Morgan and Andrews have is fun. I don't know. It doesn't help them in the ring, though. And the right team won. And I'm so excited about it.
So Jack, logic is, if I go to your house right now, wearing a mask, y'all, and I hit you over there with a chair, and you get mad, then you're the bully? Is that what you're saying?
These two, Morgan Andrews those two, they've been exploiting the Hunt their entire careers. And finally, these two, with the guidance of Eddie Dennis, finally were able to break out of their shadows and really find what they can do now. That's why they're suddenly winning. That's why they're suddenly being successful, is they're no longer being held back by these two other guys that are selfish and using them. That's what makes Eddie Dennis so great. He's using what he learned as a teacher to help these two, the Hunt, grow beyond just being used and taken advantage of. It's beautiful to see.
You see anyone to deal with?
I mean, I get it though, but like when he's like pulling offense, like he's helping out his team. They're gonna lose. He throws. I think it was Warthog.
I actually like Warthog better.
That name came to me first than Wild Boar. Excuse me. He threw Warthog into the ring to break up the tag, to break up the pin. He's a genius, and I think they're thankful for that.
I will give them. There was that cool double DDT move that I want to say Flash did to the Hunt. I got to give credit for that. That was a really cool maneuver there where he got both of them. But overall, man, the Hunt. I mean, if you're a tag team in NXT UK, you better be able to take quite a beating, because looking around at Imperium and Gallus and the Hunt, whew, that's a tough set of opponents there.
The fact you sat there and defended Eddie Dennis, I can't. I mean, he's cool. I can't get mad at that. He has charisma, but he's not a nice guy. And poor Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews have some things they have to figure out, because they got beat by the bullies in a situation. That's right. They're the aggressors, not them. But I'm looking at you, Jack. But that's okay. We're going to roll on, because we have not only NXT last night, we have War Games on the horizon.
War Games!
Yeah. Let's talk about that in reverse. So our main event match was an advantage match, right? We had the ladies, we had Shotzi from Team Shotzi, Raquel Gonzalez from Team Candice for advantage, but Io Shirai arrives to help out the protagonist team, and she is on the team. I am conflicted upon conflicted of what happened last night in the main event, but let me ask you, Jack, thoughts about that, thoughts about the match, and thoughts about Io Shirai going to War Games?
Well, my first takeaway from this match is right off the bat. As a fan, I love getting to watch this, because it was two women that both needed a win here, right? They both needed to rebound from some previous matches that they came up short in. But beyond that, the first thing I thought was how much of a family Candice's team seems to be. They're always together. They're having a good time, supporting each other, doing real things that I think a lot of people can look on and say, that's how you become a leader. And the other takeaway was, of course, Io Shirai came out without provocation and helped Shotzi win, because she was paying her back for Shotzi stealing the opportunity from Candice to be the women's champion right now. It's a shame that so much this happens in NXT, where you have people like Shotzi and Io Shirai cheating and doing all these things to help each other out, and keeping people like Candice, who deserve that title, from being the champion that they really are. It makes me sick.
First of all, you're wrong, but Dylan has a question for you quick. He says, can someone please tell me why Indy Hartwell isn't on Team Candice?
She's hurt.
Like, legit?
Yes.
All right. And the question for you, man, like, my reservation with this is that because of this, the only championship that's going to be defended is the North American title at War Games, but the prospect of Io Shirai being on the team with protagonists, what do you feel about this?
I mean, you give Io Shirai anything to jump off of, and she's gonna make it look amazing. I mean, she was in last year's takeover match too, so she's already got experience. She's the perfect one. She doesn't have anything else to do. Might as well throw her in this match. I liked the ladder match last night. I thought it was really good. Raquel Gonzalez is still a little wonky at times. She
Damn.
almost killed Shotzi, I think, like twice.
Only
But
twice.
great match. And if it wasn't for Indy Hartwell bringing the ladder in the first place to get Team Candice over the ringside, Io probably wouldn't even shown up. So you got to blame Team Candice for that one.
I do.
I mean, when you can't blame her. She's been a friend of Candice for so long, and she's seen how so many times these ne'er-do-wells take advantage of the numbers game. And so Indy was there to try to prevent that. She did all she could, but unfortunately, all this chaos happens at ringside. It's unfortunate, but I still believe that the right team is going to win. I think wonky Raquel Gonzalez, which actually rolls right off the tongue, is going to be such a great enforcer in that match. One way or another, I think we can all agree, all three of us, that when you look at the people in this match, War Games is going to be a real banger of a matchup. There's lots of hard hitters, lots of high flyers. I think when you look at, again, like the stats of the people in this match, it just makes for what's going to be a very, very hard-hitting War Games.
Jumping ahead, do you think War Games has the potential to be the best pay-per-view 2020?
I would say any takeover has the chance to be the best show of the year every time they've done it. NXT's so good with their takeovers.
I'm asking that question, Jack. Don't be diplomatic. I'm asking you, War Games specifically will be the chance to be the best pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Literally, I'm not just saying that to be diplomatic. I mean, seriously, if you were to look back over the past few years, it's very hard to find a bad takeover. And I love War Games in general. Ever since it's WCW days, so it very well could be the best. I mean, do we call them pay-per-views anymore, or super shows, or
special events?
Special events of the year. Easy, yeah, it could definitely do it.
I'm out of you. What do you think, Andy?
You give me a giant cage with 2 rings, that's going to be pay-per-view of the year. Because
no one shows up to the arena. Just
I mean, it's going to be weird without like a real live audience. I was lucky enough to be at the first War Games in LA. And the feeling in that audience is just impending doom, because something bad is going to happen. And this is going to be a great show.
You know what, the one asterisk on whether or not this could be the best of the year is, do we count pre-empty arenas as this year? Because if you're counting Royal Rumble and if you're counting shows before the empty stadiums, then it might get tricky. But if you're looking at post-empty arenas, then yeah, this definitely is lining up to possibly be that spot.
For the record, I do, only because the post-empty arenas came kind of early in the year. It came around March. Mm-hmm. But like if this happened like in August, I would be like, okay, there's a clear division between pre and post. But there's been more months down than without. That's why I think Worlds Collide is still my favorite pay-per-view of the year. The Rumble was great. The Rumble match was great for the men, but I like Worlds Collide as the pay-per-view more. Just a quick note, also the women's division before we move on from that division. Xia Li, my girl, has another bit of a story with the dunking of the water, the torturing, the candlesticks in the back, and I can't tell if she's hungry or overnourished or malnourished or what's going on. I don't know. I'm on board. I love it. Sure, it's kind of hokey, but why not? And let me ask you this, man. Xia Li getting the undercard time, but her own vignette on NXT Live?
Getting some like Lucha Underground things that we haven't seen before on NXT vibes. I'm here for it. I'm here for innovation and keeping the shows fresh. And personally, NXT has kind of just been kind of waiting through. And this is just something new, and I'm all for new things.
I 100% agree. I loved Lucha Underground, and I thought the same thing when I was watching this. This felt very Lucha Underground. I love seeing that both Xia and Bo are getting kind of broken down, and that so they can get built back up. But we're leaving this whole thing, at least me, watching, going, who's the person with the long hair? Who's that person that was like had the hair in their face, looking at them? What's next? What they're doing so good with this is they always give us just a little bit more than they did last time to make me question, well, what's next? What's happening? What's the end game here? In a good way, not in a well, what are they doing, but in like a what's happening next? I can't wait to see next week's episode.
Who do you think
I think it's great. I love it. I have no idea who it is. I think it'll be someone that we've not seen before. So
Who do you think it is, Andy? Just curious.
I really don't know, because they've done such a great job at being in the shadows about it.
Yeah.
I can't put money on anybody. Who do you think it's going to be?
I'm gonna say it so you can clip it out and tag them if I'm right, and if I'm wrong, delete it because I don't want to be made fun of. But I think the person under the hood is none other than Scarlet. Scarlet and Karrion Kross are back, and they're using that mystical stuff like the smoke, like their entrance was, to pull in this new talent to work with them. I think it's Scarlet.
interesting. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, why not?
The Dario Cueto, I'll take that any day of the week. Dario Cueto is my favorite all-time, I guess, GM authority figure. I love Dario Cueto.
Didn't like Commissioner Michaels back in the day? Okay.
Anonymous Raw GM was pretty good, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The sound effect, boo.
I just thought like I got an email at the time, or like my burned CD was done.
That's why everyone booed it. They were like, "Oh man, that was off of work tonight." Let's talk about one of the biggest storylines happening in NXT, not involving Xia Li. Whether you call them the Kings of NXT, the brand, or Team McAfee, your boys came out with a little something to say. And you know, Jack is a fan of Pat McAfee. Dylan Matthews in the chat's a fan of Pat McAfee. I am getting closer to being on board. Because before he was a sleazy, before he cut his promo being an absolute jerk, he took time to give respect to fallen wrestler Pat Patterson. So it's like that pet the dog moment. It's like, he's so complex. I love it. Let's talk about the brand because they're heading to NXT and possibly the biggest War Games match ever. Andy, thoughts about this? Thoughts about the brand? Thoughts about the promo?
These guys are the clearest of heels. They showed up in a bright yellow Hummer. You don't get more heel than that. They showed up and Pat just ran down the Undisputed Era. I was a big fan of Pat McAfee from his YouTube show, and he would sprinkle in some wrestling here and there, but he is just taken to this like a fish to water. He knows exactly what to say just to make the crowd hate him. He doesn't even have to tell me I suck, which he did many times during this promo. But he just the way he is, he's a great bad guy.
Looking back at this, I mean, I could tell you about how great he is, but you can just watch what he said. I think the news needs to be more like Pat McAfee, just stating truths, just stating facts. You know, none of this opinion stuff. That's what I like about Pat McAfee. He just tells you exactly the truth. And Flobo, I know you think I go a little too hard on Pat McAfee, but look at his
No,
team.
I don't.
Look at his team for War Games. Like, I want you to think about if you could put together a War Games team, and you're looking at Lorcan, Birch, Dunn. Is there a better 3-man team to add to your services for a War Games match than those three? They're tough. They're talented. How are you going to beat them up in a match like that? They are custom built for War Games.
This is why I'm conflicted, because those 3 men are guys I fought for and advocated for years, especially Oney Lorcan and Pete Dunne. So I wanted to see them do well, but the question is, and all of our fans are asking this, the Undisputed Era have never won a War Games match, and it's kind of their match now. This to be the year that the guys who wore their finest suits to drink wine at Chili's get their win?
I mean, I forgot about that stat, and that's a huge stat because you would think they'd have to get it eventually, but Pat McAfee and team are, like you said, tailor made for this. They have all the cards, as you will, but don't count out Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly can go in there and destroy everybody by himself. So take that what you will.
I actually believe this in 2020.
I actually got to admit the video package they had for the Undisputed Era was really, really well done and really well put together. And I think it's going to be a fantastic send off for them as they get disbanded and destroyed at War Games. I think it's just a great way to kind of put an exclamation point on the end of what was a solid run, to be fair.
Pete Dunne said it.
And I want to say, and I think what's great about this is after they end the Undisputed Era, Dylan Matthews in the chat, you and I, we're right on the same page. We're parking our car in the same garage. It'll be a perfect transition for Pat McAfee to then challenge Finn Balor and become the NXT champion. He's the best in the business. He should be the champion. I can't wait to see it, and I'm glad we all get to watch it together.
I was with you up until you brought up Finn Balor, and then I just had I just hit mute for a little while. Honestly, I'm just going to be honest. I can't lie.
I know Finn Balor doesn't like to wrestle much these days, and he likes to just pop in for a quick promo and then let Undisputed Era do his work.
That was
but one of these days, eventually, he's going to get back in the ring, and that's when the GOAT, Pat McAfee, finally gets what he has worked so hard for so long.
How can you be the GOAT if you lost every match you participated in? You can't be the GOAT without winning a championship or being top one. You've lost everything you've done.
He had the strongest debut of any NXT wrestler.
And he lost that match.
he only wrestles on takeovers. Have you thought about that? That's how good he is. He's like the Brock Lesnar of NXT. He only comes in for the biggest shows. And he makes he's the Brock
did Snooki. She went to WrestleMania. She's the best wrestler of all time too. Come on, Jack.
That backspring.
Oh, he's right. He's right. Yeah, she's the GOAT.
Come on now.
I'm so sorry, Snooki. I didn't mean to compare. Let's talk about GOATs, man. Our North American champion, Leon Ruff, is living the life because he's champion. He's getting married soon to Asia Smith. The match on Sunday, we'll probably get to that in our preview, but today he teamed up with Damian Priest to take on Santos Escobar and Raul Mendoza of Legado del Fantasma. I don't know, man. Leon Ruff, I'm on board. I'm buying the merch. I'm in. What do you guys think?
I thought what really stood out to me about this match, the thing that was really good, there's a few things that stood out to me. First, I want to talk about Escobar, who, by the way, the true cruiserweight champion, Escobar,
you just said
here defending it, out here proving day in and day out for months that he is the true cruiserweight champion. I don't want any more arguments about it.
10 minutes ago, you said there was Jordan Devlin.
I heard that too.
You guys, I'm not going to deal. I can't deal with you guys trying to make up these false narratives. Listen, he's the guy, but I want to say I love seeing him in the ring with some bigger guys like Damian Priest. I thought they had really great chemistry there. They were doing really good things. I do feel like that the referee needs to be reprimanded because they let that illegal tag at the end ruin the match. The illegal tag by Leon Ruff, and the fact that they didn't get Damian Priest out of there fast enough. He still was hitting moves after he got tagged out. Completely unprofessional. I don't remember who the referee was, but they need to be thrown out of there. You can't let that kind of stuff happen on this stage. So unfortunately, Fantasma didn't get the win here, but the match itself was good. And might I say, Johnny Gargano just proving how great he is again on commentary as well.
Johnny commentary.
Yeah, I'm sure the referees will review the tape at their weekly referee caucus and decide what to do with the bad officiating. Andy, thoughts about the match, man? Leon Ruff being NA champion, Damian Priest, why Jack's crazy, anything right now?
I mean, Leon Ruff to me, I got to imagine that Leo Rush is really mad right now because that could easily been his spot. I do like Leon Ruff's underdog feel where Leo Rush didn't have that, but they're basically the same guy.
Now that you mention it, it does sound kind of great value, doesn't it? That's messed up, though. It does sound like, oh, Leo Rush? No, it's Leon Ruff.
We have Leo Rush at home, and then you get home, and Mom brings out Leon Ruff.
That's messed up. It's so
but I mean, it was a good match. I'm a big fan of Legado Fantasma, but I think going into this match at NXT Takeover, you don't need them to be featured in this role because the real story we're telling is the triple threat match that's going to be taking place. So great way to put over those guys.
True.
Speaking of that triple threat match, I think Leon Ruff is just super lovable, but I mean, the fact that you got to look at like how the people have grown and taken to Johnny Gargano. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it looked like there was a couple of people even wearing the ghost face masks in the crowd just in support of Johnny Gargano and support of that family. And it's really cool to see that it's really kind of a grassroots thing happening here in support of Johnny Gargano.
This is like the new Yes movement, if you will. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's cool to see.
Grassroots. People just like at home with their masks decided, oh, finally, here's our shot for a cause we all believe in, the Ghostface Clan.
Yeah. You didn't see it, Flobo? It was cool. They were actually, you should go back and watch. There's a few of them in there.
I guess I must have missed that part. Yeah, I saw it, Jack.
How many are there though? And can they have can they have something going on in the match with those guys? Are we going to see more Ghostface?
That's totally going to be a possibility, I feel.
Or is Leon Ruff the Ghostface killer?
Oh, he said it! I love puns.
If Morrow was still there, that would 100% get said.
That is a Morrowism for sure.
Where is Morrow? I like this new commentary team, but the Morrow years, prime NXT.
He was he commentated the Tyson fight recently.
I know, man. They totally wasted him. He's like, I have to say if I go here, I'll do it, but I'll just okay.
Morrow is my favorite commentator in a long, long time. I love Morrow. I hope he finds way back somewhere doing something because he's fantastic.
I agree. I started doing esports commentating. I watch more Morrow tapes than any other, and Michael Cole too, than anyone else to get all about it. But speaking of Johnny Gargano, the other half of the former DIY, Ciampa has a little bit of a dust up and fisticuff with a boy Timothy Thatcher. Thatch can. Want to get this out the way. Thoughts about this match and feud? They're going to clash at War Games on Sunday.
Are they having a match on? They said they're having a match? Maybe I missed that.
Yeah, it's going to be the straight-up wrestling match. So I'm thinking it's going to be in that second match spot. Like the first War Game match will go first, and then you'll have like the cool-down match. I think that'll probably be it.
Yeah, I for one was I was kind of bummed out. I for one was really eager to learn a new move from Thatcher, and I was bummed out that Ciampa came out and ruined it. And I thought Thatcher did as much as he could to be professional. Look, man, I don't want trouble. I want things to be cool. I'm trying to be a good guy. But in the end, Thatcher, he always finds a way. He found a way to teach us a little something. And I'm really glad he was able to thatch Ciampa and make him thatch out.
I love that you just find these ways to just snake around and
it's every week with this guy. I swear to you, it's like another planet.
Listen, I just watched the tape. I don't know what you guys are watching here. I try to speak truths.
We have a sister show. It's called Lead the Week. We do over Dynamite. And every Wednesday night, I'm like, wow, Jag is a nice, positive guy. And something happens. I believe NXT UK comes in and be like, well, you know, Eddie Dennis is a nice guy. I don't get it.
But this has potential to be a sleeper match in my eyes. Ciampa and Thatcher. Thatcher deserves more. He's like the Cesaro of NXT. And I think this could just be a really good match. Straight up wrestling match.
I actually love both these guys, so I agree with you. I think they're going to have a great match. I do think that I'd like to see Thatcher do a little bit more than work with the new guys for, going forward. But yeah, I think they're going to have a banger of a match.
I am neutral on both these guys. Not a fan of either of them, so I'm sure you guys are right in that case. Speaking of Thatch Can, his former student, Austin Gray had a match against Cameron Grimes and a match that was pretty solid because, your boy is the background looming. Austin Gray is a very enviable position. The match was great, but I felt like it was kind of early for us to really appreciate Austin Gray and what he can do in the ring. But let me start with you, Andy. Thoughts about the match, thoughts about Cameron Grimes, thoughts about Dexter Lumis.
I thought August Gray was Eric Bugenhagen. For a while. I was waiting for him to do that really high-pitched squeal that he did so epically. But yeah, this is a good squash match, getting ready for TakeOver. Cameron Grimes is just the most animated person in all of NXT. The way he just oversells, and not like to the point where it's like funny, but like where you like, I'm terrified with him because he sells it so well. And Dexter Loomis is always Loomising in the background. So I read that. Yeah, I couldn't stop. But yeah, I think Cameron Grimes is going to put up a good fight and get the crap whipped out of him on Saturday.
So this might be the end for it all. It's Sunday. I
think this could be the payoff. Yeah, they both kind of need to go different directions, I think.
Fair enough. Well, okay, Jack.
Sorry, I got into predictions. My bad.
No, it's fine. But okay, Jack. Defend Cameron Grimes now. He's a hard-working man. Is trying to have a match, and someone lurked behind him. And how dare he? Let's hear it. Let's go ahead.
Well, I was going to start by saying I thought Austin Gray did a great job of trying to, I mean, he went from being a student to in the ring on his own. I thought he did an amazing job. And what about what happened to I can never say his last name, Eric Bugenhagen? Am I saying that right?
They changed his name to Rick Boogs, but you haven't seen him yet. He was in Underground. He was in part of the bigger Retribution before they debuted. Why
isn't he? I loved that guy. I thought he was great. I thought he was fantastic. But in any case, I don't know how I have to defend Cameron Grimes. He's one of the most entertaining people in pro wrestling. I wanted to hate Cameron Grimes so much, but every time he's on, I got a big old smile on my face. The man in the black hat going to the moon, Mackenzie. Cameron Grimes. But I think unfortunately the headline does read a psychopath brutally attacks a man who just finished having a match. And it's, again, I don't know why they let this Loomis guy around other people. He's dangerous. He shouldn't be here. Someone's going to get really hurt. I don't know why NXT has allowed him to continue to do what he does. I mean, you've got to find the Ghostbusters. You got to find someone who can deal with these terrifying types of people and get rid of Loomis. I haven't slept once since I saw him in that match with Cameron Grimes at Halloween Havoc. He's terrifying.
I don't know how you do this. You should be someone. You should be someone's lawyer, not mine, because I'll probably go to jail. But you should be somebody's lawyer and defend him. The headline would read "Psychopath attacks someone after a match." What paper would pick that up? I have no idea, Jack.
A good WWE one, because that's WWE Magazine, Raw Magazine.
Oh, geez. So let's talk about things making waves. Your boys, JYV, Grizzly Young Veterans, came in, but the school Everrise, but Imperium gets involved. And of course, the match doesn't end because Everrise are no slouches. But JYV is now in NXT Prime. Andy, let me ask you this. Do they fit, and where they land in the mix in the hierarchy of the tag team division?
I mean, it's great to see them back. I've seen Everrise, but I always just see bootleg Bucks. Especially
that's okay.
I think that's what they're going for, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of this match, really. I didn't like the finish. I thought it was leading to something great, and then Everrise just comes back and causes that DQ finish. I was expecting a winner, at least for the team to come back, but maybe that's a better story to tell with no winner, with the grizzled young vets getting their big return spoiled.
Fair enough. Jack?
I mean, for the most part, yeah, I think I agree. The thing with the grizzled young veterans is if this whole pandemic thing didn't happen, I think we'd be talking about them right now as one of the best tag teams going. I think they were on such a roll. They have everything you want from being a look that's different from everyone else. Great on the microphone, great matches. I think you've got stars in these guys. I think they are amazing. It did feel a little bit like we've seen them have matches with Imperium already. So the fact that was kind of forced in felt a little bit like, okay, I mean, whatever. But I think we got to give some credit to Everrise here. Those guys get bullied and picked on and beat up every single week in and week out. And they finally said to themselves, no more. We're not going to get walked all over. We're going to come out and we're going to get some revenge. And then, of course, we're going to run away as fast as we can before they wake up. But I like that they actually stood up for themselves. I like that they got back involved, and I like that they got some retribution.
I love the logic of them getting beat up and go, look, we're going to go back there, but first, let's go start the car, then go back.
Yeah.
So we can run as quick
Leave
as
it
possible.
leave it running.
I'm gonna put my running shoes on first. I'll take off my work boots.
Let's get out of here. We're not stupid. What are you talking about?
Like, hey, Mackenzie Mitchell's like, can I ask a question? Nope.
no, guys, we're gonna run. But I actually do agree with you. I think they're valuable for that division. They're hilarious on Twitter if you haven't followed them already. And that's a perfect example of like, I can imagine if I was a wrestler, if I was younger, and they gave me a role where it's like, you're getting beat every week, make something of this. I actually am looking forward to it ever rise. They're not generic anymore. They kind of, even if it is bootleg bucks, it's kind of like, oh, okay, it's an Everrise match. Hey, you know. Our last match, though, I want to get through because I want your opinion on this one. It was Tony Nese against Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas looked like he was stopping in his career so far at NXT. He was in the Cruiserweight tournament, didn't win, had a hot feud with Escobar, didn't win, and now he went over I won't say went over. He bested Tony Nese in the competition, and he kept pushing the fact that Tony Nese was a former Cruiserweight champion. Is this now Jake Atlas for realsies, or is this Jake Atlas still messing around for funsies? Jack?
I think right now with Jake Atlas, we're still kind of learning who he is. I think, just as an analyst watching this match, he did everything right. I think he was great. I love Tony Nese, so it was unfortunate that he wasn't able to get a win here. But that said, I thought Jake Atlas looked amazing in the match. I thought he had an impassioned promo afterwards. This has to be the biggest match of his career, beating a former Cruiserweight champion. And it has to be lining him up for another title shot, I would think, because he just beat a former champion. I thought Jake Atlas looked great, and that, I think, was the overall message we were going for here. And I think they delivered perfectly. Like I said, I hope something happens for Tony Nese, though. I think he's got a lot of talent, so I hope we get to see more of him as well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Tony Nese as well, although I think Vince McMahon sees him as not a main eventer, but a main eventer, if that makes any sense, like a Wednesday main event on the WWE Network.
Got it.
Yeah. Not a main eventer, but a main eventer. Yes.
You're a main eventer.
I thought I was losing you. I had to get you back.
I went to public school. I apologize, man. I'm sorry.
That's what I tell everyone before they sign with WWE. You're going to be a main eventer.
Yeah, in no time.
Right.
But Jake Atlas, I loved his promo after. It was like a classic babyface promo. Like, I've taken some lumps, but now I'm here, and I just had a big match, and I'm going forward. So hopefully we can get the train behind him and keep it rolling.
Well, I guess I'm hanging around with Jack for so long, because how can a man who pulls up in a parking lot wielding a pipe be a baby face?
Yeah, he's a jerk.
No, it's affecting my soul. So we talked about the show long enough. Let's talk about War Games. The card is 5 matches confirmed this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure who's hosting it, but Shotzi Blackheart is the cover athlete for the poster. If you still collect those. Up and down the card, this is from Wikipedia. This is the order they have. I'm not saying any match is more important than the other. We have the women's War Game match. That's Shotzi, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai taking on Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. Thoughts about the match? Thoughts who's going to win this one? Jack, I'm going to start with you.
How dare you say this isn't more important than some of the other matches, and starting with this one, Flobo?
I didn't say that. I said the opposite.
I'm
innocent.
Looking at this match, I'm going to go with Candice's team. I think that she just has, like I said, that family vibe. I think they're all hanging out together. They know each other. I think they've got the chemistry together where I look at the other side, and I think right now you've got Io Shirai and 3 women who all want a shot at Io Shirai. I don't think they're going to work together very well. I think Candice LeRae is going to get the win and hopefully use that to get her shot back at that title that she should have won already.
Ready?
I actually agree with what Jack said. I think Team Candice is going to win because, I mean, Team Shotzi is going to have the advantage. They won the ladder match on last night. But like you said, she actually went out and said, I have the strength. I have the whatever Dakota Kai brings. I have a full team. Like, that's an Avengers level team where everyone's going to bring some to the table. And I don't want to get too backstagey, but I think Rhea Ripley's due for a call up as well too. So this could be like her farewell, do the JOB on the way out, and get up the main roster women some fresh meat.
There's no call up anymore. It's transfer to a likewise even brand.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just putting it out there. That's the hill I'll die on. Looks like how you'll die on editing as being a good guy. Okay. Our other War Games match is the Undisputed Era taking on, again, officially Team McAfee on the promo screen, but also they'll accept Kings of NXT or the brand. O'Neal Lorcan, Danny Burch, Peter Dune, and Pat McAfee himself, who is also, I guess, a fighting manager. That's to Jack's credit. Thoughts on this one? Will the Undisputed Era finally win a War Games match, or will the brand be too strong?
I think you got to give it to them.
Them.
Sorry, I thought we were.
Yeah.
My bad.
Go ahead. All
right. Anyways, I like the Undisputed Era. I think, this is their time to finally to get one over in a War Games match. You can't lose all of them, and maybe keep a feud going. I know I said something a little earlier, but now that I think about it, I think Undisputed Era got some merch to sell. So let's get Undisputed Era back on the winning trending page.
They do. The silver and black shirt. Almost like NWO. Shades of Echoes. Jack?
I think that the legacy of the Undisputed Era will be that they were never able to win that War Games match. This is going to be the end of them. I think McAfee is going to win. I think the brand is going to win, and I think he's going to take that momentum straight to the title when he runs over Finn Balor. That's right. This is it. He's winning. Pat McAfee, you can't count him out. You can't bet against him. That's crazy talk. Of course he's winning.
Fine. The only championship on the line is this one, the North American title in a three-way dance, triple threat match. Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, and Leon Ruff. I'll start with you, Jack, because I'm going to get it out the way. Why do you think Johnny Gargano should win this match?
Get it out of the way. No, this is going to be fantastic because Johnny Gargano is going to win this match. He's
really?
Johnny North American Champion is what we're going to be calling him. It just rolls right off the tongue. It sounds perfect. And he's going to win. He's proven that he's the best on commentary. He's the best wrestler. The fans are behind him. This is his time to become another time. How many times has he had it? This will be his third time?
This will be his third.
The first and only ever 3-time North American champion, Johnny Gargano, in a landslide.
I'm going with Johnny Gargs as well. I think those Ghostface killers are going to be out there, and they're going to turn the tide for him. Damian Priest is cool. He should probably be going towards heavyweight championship at this point. Let Johnny Gargs be down there with the North American title. Leon Ruff, I'm sorry, you had a great little run. You entertained us fans, and we see things in your future. But Johnny Gargs is Johnny Takeover for a reason, and he's going to win this match.
My apologies to Ruff by saying. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one, Flobo, I hope you feel bad about your condescending comments about my
I feel great about
predictions now. Two, Johnny Gargs is not – let's not call him Gargs. And three, I totally caught your little jab at Ruff by calling it a little title.
Yeah, I was about to say what I said. I was like, wait a minute. Apologies to Ruffs. Yeah.
You're bleeding into me. I feel like I'm just absorbing your energy here.
Everyone becomes a heel when they hang with Jack for too long. I think Leon Ruff retains. I think if Leon Ruff loses a match for the title, it should be one-on-one against Gargano. That'd be fine. But this has shenanigans. He's still another one written all over, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm not a hater of Gargano. I'm just saying. And Dexter Lumis taking on Cameron Grimes in a strap match, our gimmick match, not named War Games. You know, I have Dexter Lumis in this one. I'm not sure if you guys do. Start with you, Andy.
I actually do have Dexter Lumis in this. We've gone through this story for a while, and it's finally it's time. Let Cameron Grimes be the superstar that he is, and let Dexter Lumis go stalk someone else. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dexter Lumis in this one.
It's my
say it.
There can only be one winner here, and if it's not Cameron Grimes, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I haven't slept since the man with this mustache and stare has been on my TV. Cameron Grimes, I need you to win this match. I can't deal with that man staring at me through the screen any longer. Grimes, I implore you, please find a way to end the madness at War Games.
I'm just, you can imagine that if you look at your bedroom window and you just see
Yeah.
Because you're like, wait, I'm on the second floor. How's that even possible? Just Dexter Lopez hanging out.
And how's he stroking a rope in front of my window?
The Stranger Things music plays. Okay. And our last match we mentioned before, Timothy Thatcher against Tommaso Ciampa. I don't really, yeah.
I was going to say, I think Thatcher has to win this one. If he doesn't win, what does he do? Ciampa is kind of bulletproof. Ciampa can do anything, and he's going to be fine. I think if Thatcher loses, though, then everything he is falls apart and unravels.
See, I agree with you, but what about the whole Ciampa thing of being like, NXT's too soft. I'm going to go fix this. And all that.
What better person to try to fix this with than one of the toughest guys in NXT? And then, you know, you have his trainees that can also maybe pull some shenanigans as well. But I think Thatcher needs this. I don't want him to be used the way he's been used lately, which, you know, showing off his prowess, but then it kind of goes nowhere. I need to see him kind of just be a superstar.
Yeah, I was kind of bored with the Thatch Cam, but then when you talk about the Kushida, I was like, this is done. Why are we still doing this, personally? But that's just me.
Yeah.
That was weird. I still don't understand what that was all about.
He's
really
distracted, but still.
I mean, and also I should say, to Thatcher's point, most matches do seem to end with someone being distracted. So that was actually a very good lesson he was trying to teach there. But
I hate you. I hate you so much.
But it's yeah, I don't know. This feels like a very weird, I don't know, that felt like a weird kind of beaten story, and I would like to see Thatcher win and then go on to North American title opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Cool with me. I think of the two, I guess I'm leaning more towards Thatcher because of his potential. I just not a fan of him telling us how to do wrestling moves when other brands say don't try this at home. But that's just me.
Hey, never thought of that.
But before we get out of here, because we're already at the hour, it's now time for a segment we call the MVP of NXT. So we pick one person on either brand, NXT or NXT UK, who you say really outshone. This segment brought to you part by Gamingware. Make sure you suit up and take on the day at gmrware.com. Use promo code FLOBO for a discount. Jack Farmer, on either NXT or NXT UK, who was one individual that did it for you?
To this week, I think, to me, it was Eddie Dennis. He has been dogged for weeks about how maybe he was a bad guy, maybe he was a jerk, but I think this week he proved that he was right all along, as he always is, and now he can put the past behind him and lead his tag team to potential tag team title gold. That's what you want to do in wrestling, and I think that he's finally proven that he's someone we can trust and should listen to.
Andy?
My MVP is going to go to Pat McAfee, who single-handedly got me into the building to pay to see him get his ass whipped by the Undisputed Era in a War Games match. He told me I sucked, and I don't suck, first of all. Pat, if you're listening. And I just need him to just get his comeuppance in this match. So, yeah, Pat McAfee for the great promo work on this week's NXT.
I like how you guys picked the same person on two different sides of the pond.
I was going to say different reasons, but Pat McAfee was a very close second for me.
I don't. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm on the side of you guys because I really liked what the Hunt did this week as far as tandem wrestling, as far as brutality. If I was a scout, definitely a James stuck out for me. But on sheer like who had the highest rating, I think the Hunt did in a landslide. And Dylan Matthews puts a button on it and says, Pat McAfee tells me I suck, then I suck. Just accepts things at face value.
Don't accept that from a former punter. Come on, man.
Dylan, that's why you're one of the best viewers and listeners we have. That's why you and we agree on a lot of things. I agree. I agree completely.
He's not going to buy a cameo. But that's all the time we have for this time. Andy, it's been a pleasure, man. I want you to come back whenever you can. Where can the world follow you on social media? Where can they find you online?
Pretty much at It's Me A3K on everything. I make a sandwich every Tuesday on my Instagram, live, voted on by the fans. I host a weekly wrestling podcast called the Put Me Over Podcast, and we talk everything that happens in the week of wrestling and beyond. And we just have a lot of fun there. And that's kind of it. That's all I got going on right now.
What's the stand for? It's Me A3K.
Well, fun fact. I go by the name Andrew 3000 for a while, and then my friends shortened it to just A3K, and then It's Me A3K kind of came out. I wish I could change the font lettering because people just say it's Meek, and it's not that. That's not what that is.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, is it me, DDP? No, there's these in there. Like, what could it possibly be? Real Jack Farmer, what's the deal, man? How can I follow you online? Watch all your stuff, buy all your gimmicks.
Yeah, you can check me out online at jackcfarmer.com as well as at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. You can also buy some shirts at realjackfarmer.threadless.com. You can also check out anytimeradio.com with a new episode every Monday. We do a lead of the week on Wednesdays. We do everything tournament on Thursdays except for this week. And you can check me out on a couple of the episodes of the United Wrestling Network, interviewing some wrestlers there. Fun times. You can check that out on Fight TV.
Yeah, ever since Jack Farmer signed with United Wrestling Network, he doesn't return my calls anymore.
It's true.
What a heel.
I send out links. I hope he shows up to these shows. I have no idea. No, I'm just kidding.
Who dis?
Who dis? My picture in it. No, this is Draped in Gold every Thursday, live at this time. Sorry for technical difficulties, but learn more about the show over at drapedingold.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Flobo Boyce or Instagram at Flobito. And then my website is flobito.com. But until next time, Jack Farmer, say the words.
Do your best and be yourself.